Hey everyone, it's Dominic, the Primetime Treasure Hunter. Thanks for coming by to check out another video. It's Saturday, September 7th. It's a very special day. It's Mrs. Primetime's birthday. That's right. Give her a happy birthday down in the comments section. I'm sure she'll love to get all of that attention from everyone. I'm just kidding, but it will be funny if people leave happy birthday messages for her. Now, I'm not going out sourcing today because it just wouldn't feel right. I want to stay home with Mrs. Primetime as much as possible and just kind of hang out. Do some listings here and there, doing some odds and ends and stuff like that. One of the things I'm going to go do, because it's only 20 minutes away, I'm going to go and sign up to get on the list for an estate sale that's taking place tomorrow. This is from the person I've talked about a lot, my favorite #1 estate sale dealer to go to. I get the best deals from her. And I even go to the sales even if they don't look like there's too much stuff there for me. But the last time I went there, you may remember, I got a lot of Far Side calendars. Well, I picked up 7. One of them I sold for 25 bucks. I picked them all up for like 2 bucks. And there were 6 other ones that last night I sold together as a lot for $125. I got them off that bookshelf. So it did pretty well. I'm excited. This looks like it's going to be like a bigger house. I'm not sure. It's like from the pictures inside, that's what it looks like. So we'll check it out when we get there. I'll show it to you. But the reason I'm starting off in the garage here is that I wanted to talk about Mrs. Primetime. I wanted to give you an update on how Mrs. Primetime is doing on her furniture restoration / reselling side of the business. She's doing really well with it. I want to show you this little desk that she picked up for free when we went to a community garage sale. It's right here behind me. You can see here, she repurposed it very nicely with what's called oops paint. So it's paint that they made by mistake, and they just have it for a very low discounted price at places like Home Depot, Ace Hardware, Lowe's. You could pick it up. So it's a great way to just pick up nice discounted paint to restore furniture pieces like this. So we got this for free. We put it on Facebook Marketplace, and she wound up selling it for $75. So this should be gone by the time we get back here. I'll show you a couple things about it that she did that was cool. Not only is the paint cool, but inside she put this scrap paper in there from scrapbooks. She got that over there, and she's got that over there as well. So that's pretty neat. And you may remember from the prior video I showed you when I went out looking for treasures, I showed you against the wall there were 4 wood paneled doors that she had me go pick up for $5 on Facebook Marketplace. She sold those for $80 on Facebook Marketplace. That's not something I've heard about in terms of a lot of people doing, is getting something on Facebook Marketplace for cheap and then reselling it on the same exact marketplace for a significant amount more. So I'm going to call that Facebook Marketplace arbitrage. But there's some other projects that she has to do, but she's doing pretty well on most of them. So let's go out, let's get on that estate sale list and check out what that house looks like. All right, so this is the house right here. It is indeed pretty big. It's in an old area of Syracuse known as Strathmore. Fellow reseller and YouTuber OGC is from this area, so go check him out for sure. So even though I'm number 38 on the list, which, you know, may seem like that's far down, it's really not that bad. That's still going to be enough to get me in on the first wave, given the size of the house based on my experience. So I'm excited to come back tomorrow and see what treasures lie in there. I'm hoping for a bunch of vintage stuff, given the age of the neighborhood. So we'll see tomorrow. So I definitely wanted to point this out to you. It's a great example of some of the old architecture and the flamboyance of some of the houses in this development. Absolutely beautiful, great vintage looks to them. And if you ever see houses like this and there's garage sales or estate sales nearby, that's an instant clue to go by, check them out, because chances are there's some great vintage treasures inside waiting to be discovered. Now, as much as I want to be home with Mrs. Primetime right now, when I am on the way home and see a garage sale like this, I have to stop by. So let's see if I can get anything here. Everything here is free, so definitely going to pick up this golf bag here. This is amazing for free. Just put this right up on Facebook Marketplace. So this is how you do it, folks. So we are back. As you can see, Mrs. Primetime's desk is no longer there, sold while we were away. And I just took this out of the Primetime Treasure Mobile. You know, I don't know what the exact comps are for this. I'm gonna just throw it up on Facebook Marketplace. Maybe I get like 50 bucks out of it or something like that. I mean, we'll see. I'm just throwing that number out there. I'll update you and let you know what happened with it. But as Craigslist Hunter said, you can't beat free. There's a lot of people who love to golf, especially around here in Syracuse, and so this is gonna come in handy for someone. I checked all of the zippers. They all work. Everything looks great. So again, can't beat free. All right, there it is. Mrs. Primetime just put that up on Facebook Marketplace in about 45 seconds. So $50 and we'll see what happens. All right, take a good look at this one because this is Mrs. Primetime's next project. So I'm excited to see what this turns out to be when she is all done with it. How much do we get this one for? 20? 20 bucks. She paid up for that. She better be able to flip that for a high amount. We'll see what she does. Hey, little Miss Daisy, what's going on? Your fan club wants to say hi. Oh, you're tired. It's 10:30 at night. Gotta get ready to go to that flea market tomorrow. But before we do, I say we go, stop being so shy. I say we go and show everyone about a pretty cool sale that we just made. It's good. Oh, you heard good sale? Good sale that brighten you up? That's right. Good sale means more dog food for you and more treats, more snacks and stuff. All right, let's go down and see what that was. All right, well, this is the item right here that I sold. No, it's not a baseball bat. No, it's not a poster from the big barn in the middle of nowhere that I showed you in my prior haul video. This is actually a piece of old canvas. If you were to feel it, you could really feel how old it is, if that makes sense. What you're gonna see when I unscroll this piece of canvas is that it's actually a painting on the canvas. And you can see these nice, rich, bright colors. This is actually a type of paint and painting called gouache, which basically means it is a solid colored paint that's mixed in with like a gluey type of substance. It gives it this nice firm kind of feel on the canvas, and it really holds up well over time, really makes those bright colors pop, you know, and stay there even after all of these decades. Now, in addition to the fact that it's bright and colorful, and that's a really cool thing about this that makes it stand out, in addition to the obvious international aspect of it, is if you look down at the bottom left, you're going to see something interesting here. It says WJ Regug, and it also says that it's from Bali. Now, Bali is in Indonesia, and this is actually an example of what is known as Balinese art, B-A-L-I-N-E-S-E. Now, examples of Balinese art by this particular artist have fetched as much as $150. Now, that's not a ton of money, but that's top of the line for this artist. I have not seen this particular piece before based on my research on the item and the artist, although again, I have seen other pieces by him also made in Bali. So I had this up and sold it tonight. I had it at $79.99. I was low on the price a little bit over the last few weeks, and a person made an offer for $65, and I accepted it. It's going out to Canada. I have nothing invested into this. You never saw me source it before, but there's a reason for that, and that's why I'm really showing you this in addition to just teaching you about the item. If you ever see something like this, to pick it up if you get it for a few bucks. But the way that I got this was from my father-in-law. Now, I haven't talked about my father-in-law much before, but my father-in-law lives in New Jersey. And he picked this up when he saw it just because it looked cool. He heard about what I'm doing with reselling and going to estate sale. So he found an estate sale nearby. He just decided to go by, check it out. Totally novice, type of thing to do. He wasn't doing this based on having years of experience or anything like that. It just looked interesting to him. And that's an important point, that if you're new and you're looking for things that could have potential value, if it looks different and something that you've never seen before, that's a red flag to check into it. If it looks like a one-of-a-kind item, even though it might not be, but it looks like it, check into it. There could be hidden value there, and that's exactly what he did. And so he picked it up for $5. He sent it over to us and he said, you know, have Dom check it out, have him look into it. If it's worth anything, go ahead, sell it. You don't have to give me any money or anything. I just thought it was neat and I picked it up for a few bucks. I sent it over to you. Relatives will do this. So this is why you should let relatives know that you're doing reselling, because they will not only pass some of their own things onto you, they'll find things from their friends that their friends were going to throw out. My mom did this once. Mama Primetime, one of her friends was going to throw out a whole bunch of vintage cameras. And she's like, no, don't throw them out. You know, my son could probably do something with it. And so, you know, next time she came to visit me, she gave me all these cameras. And turns out that they are actually worth a lot of money. Now, definitely going to let my father-in-law know that we sold this. He's going to be really pumped up. It's going to Canada. And I'm just going to tell him the next time he comes over, which hopefully pretty soon, we're going to take him out to dinner based on the money from this sale. So he's going to be excited about that. And, you know, again, I just want to point this out, just tell you about the piece and just show you, you don't have to have tons of experience to find something that could be very valuable. Certainly experience does help, and there's a role that definitely plays, but you can find treasures even if you're brand new at this. So if you're brand new, use that as a little tip, some inspiration, go out there and find some. Daisy, you're playing with Santa Claus? Now you gotta be nice to Santa Claus. You can't beat Santa Claus up like that. You're not gonna get any presents this year unless all your fans send you some. Oh my gosh, Daisy, you're really beating up poor Santa. Now listen, it's time to go out to the flea market, all right? We're gonna get some treasures. Then we gotta time this properly so that we could go right over to the estate sale later that we signed up for. All right? Boy, oh boy. All right, what has gotten into you this morning? You taking it out on Santa Claus there. All right, bye, Daisy. All right, well, it is 9 a.m. pulling into the flea market. Looking forward to another exciting day of treasure hunting. The goal is to start here for about 2 hours or so, head over to that estate sale and see what we can find there. So let's get parked and hunt for some treasures. I've upgraded my hunting box, by the way. This thing is super strong. It's really big. The other one was just kind of getting a little bit weaker, so I got another box in there, some bags, and my blue bag of tools. So this will help me as we go along. This is a very cool piece right here, this Stowaway metal cabinet. But even though it's cool and vintage and it has the original paper around it, this is why you have to be careful and check comps, because the max value on this with shipping is $20, so it's really not worth it to pick up, even though it's a cool vintage item. So just remember, even though it's vintage, doesn't mean it's worth picking up. Now this, on the other hand, no, I'm just kidding, it's not worth anything. Now, these are great. These are matching New York State license plates to commemorate the New York World's Fair in 1940. The thing you want to look for with license plates is if they're matching, because people are going to want them for the front and the back. Don't mind the rust. Minimal value on something like this is around $60 for the pair, as high as about 85. So we'll see what they want. Okay, so I just asked and he wants 40 for the pair, so that's not gonna work. But just to give you an idea of what you're looking for, but you can't pay $40 for something like this. So this is an area that I am not great at, which is the CDs. I'm trying to improve on that. There's a bunch of them here. This one I had just moved to the side to look underneath, and one of the things that I came across that caught my eye was this one, which looks pretty unique. That's what kind of jumped out to me. It's a Cartoon Network. It's a title that I haven't even heard of before, but it just looked like something that might have like a cult following to it. And sure enough, this one sells for about $20. So I'm gonna pick this one up and just keep trying to improve in this area over time. So this is what you will come across sometimes at flea markets, is a box of comic books like this. It's not in a formal comic box or some random box, so you have to do a count. I've done that already. There's about 200 of them in here. There are a bunch of Wonder Woman books. You could see one of them up top. That's one of the things I was talking about in my Facebook group the other day, is to look out for Wonder Woman items, Wonder Woman collectibles. There are a bunch of them in here. I'll show you in just a second here. Some of them are doubles, but there's a lot of them in here, and they're in great shape. They look to be in very fine to near mint condition. You know, mostly from the 90s, but there's also some other books over here on this side which have some certificates of authenticity on them. There's Venom, so there's some decent titles. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. See, here we go. Here we go, like a little certificate for Buffy, so that's cool. And I was talking to the guy, and he deals in comic books. I've never dealt with him before, so this is like a little test to see. This is a title you definitely should look for. Michael Turner's Fathom. Here's some more Wonder Woman. So it's a decent box, and we'll see if we could kick things off with a little deal here. I'm not sure. Got him right at the flea market. Anyone could pick something like this up, anybody watching this. So just let me talk you through a couple things about this in case you come across something like this. So the first thing is you have to be able to recognize that there's something in there that has potential value. That's why you need to know titles like Michael Turner's Fathom, Wonder Woman, things with certificates of authenticity in them like this, you know, popular titles, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, things like that. So that's the first thing. Then don't count every book, but just divide them in half, count one side down, and then multiply by 2. Get a number that's about 10 cents per issue in terms of how much you'd be willing to pay. But be willing to go up to about 20 cents per issue if it's really good, but try to stay at about 15 cents per issue. Now, he was selling these for $1 a book, so that would be $200 if he sold all of these individually. That would obviously take him a lot of time. So what I did is I offered him $20 for everything, because that would be about 10 cents per issue. Very easy to figure out. He immediately said, absolutely no way. Lowest I could go on him is $50. So I just had to explain to him that that's just not realistic, because if it was a long box worth, which would be about 275 comic books, the max someone's going to pay for that is $40, and he knows that as a collector as well, not just somebody who sells. So once he, you know, clearly showed that he recognized that we were able to negotiate down, he said $40, and then we negotiated it down further to 30. I said that's the maximum I'm gonna pay for that. That puts it at about 15 cents per issue or so, and that's what we wound up settling on. So he's like, if you want him for 30, you got him for 30. So I'm happy with that, and I'm also happy about making the deal because I gave him my card. The guy says he has about 35 to 40 long boxes in storage that he'd be interested in selling, and says he's going to contact me later this week. Who knows if that'll ever happen, but you know, it's not going to happen if you can't make a deal. So that's another reason I gave him the $30, is to try to just exchange some cash, make a deal, and then hopefully that could turn into something bigger going forward. I've done that a lot of times. It's a good tip to learn, especially for people who are beginning. So I picked all these up. Let me explain to you what just happened here. So Edward Scissorhands, new mint in the box, and 3 Indiana Jones toys. Now, this one right here retails for about $25. These two, the Cemetery Warrior and Arena Spelko, they usually sell together for about $25. This one could sell individually for about $20. Now, he wanted $3 a piece for each of those, and he wanted $5 for this. Now, I paid him $25. So the reason that I paid him $25 for these toys is because it included this piece right here, which is incredible. I've never seen this before. This comes from the Indiana Jones Infernal Machine game for Nintendo 64. If you were to find that video game sealed, that sells for over $300. There's no comps that I could find on the display at all. This was picked out of an estate sale in Canastota, New York, and brought here to the flea market. So he wanted $15 for this alone, so I got everything here for $25. I'm definitely gonna make out on this, and I can't wait to see what this item sells for. So I immediately went to put this in the Primetime Treasure Mobile because I do not want this thing getting damaged as I walk around the flea market. It's in like mint condition. Which reminds me of another tip. See how close I am to the flea market? There's a flea market. Primetime Treasure Mobile right there. That's because if I need to do these walkbacks, I don't want to have to walk all the way down there or something like that. Now it's not crowded today, but some days it's jam-packed and you can't find a spot. So I always make sure that I park close. Now I love these. You have to look past the dirt. Once too much for them though. 25 bucks a sign. Prices on these are all over the place. They could go for as high as 75 bucks or more, or you may only be able to sell them for $25. So it really just depends. I gotta hold off on something like this and try and find them at like an estate sale or something. I'm not gonna pay 25 bucks each. Okay, here's another pickup, another item to be on the lookout for. Anytime you see these large manuals, catalogs with auto parts, service repairs, that kind of stuff, check into them, especially if they are older. Like this one here is from the 1970s. So he wanted $15 for the pair. I got them both for 10 bucks. And right now they are being sold on eBay for $60 each. It has a watcher on it, so I'll probably put the price at around 55, maybe 50. So it should be, I'm hoping, about 100 bucks for both of them eventually for a $10 investment. So look out for these types of things. All right, well, that was a lot of fun, I gotta say. I mean, what type of item could be better to find during a treasure hunt than an Indiana Jones item? I mean, it's just perfect. Just fit in a doodash. We have just enough time to get over to that estate sale. It's about 10 minutes away. So we're gonna head over there now and hopefully get some more treasures. Oh boy, we are back and the line is big, it's long. It's gonna probably take a while for me to find a spot. A lot different than yesterday. People are lined up outside, out the building. So let's get a spot. We are way past the house and I still cannot find a spot. I mean, this is crazy. This is why I am very happy I came here yesterday and got on that list for sure. It's just impossible. I had to turn around and park down there. There's just no way. Every single spot on this entire street, all the way down, is completely packed. So it's exciting. There's some buzz about this one.
It looks like it's almost, I mean, it looked perfect when we looked at it. New, your hand, the black and red. Okay. They're hanging on there.
It's all right.
I'm good. How are you? Did it go? Yep. Hi, how are you?
This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Treat that.
This is a DLT one. This is
pretty
very
good.
rare to find a hard helmet
Yeah.
that's DLT this light.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's my,
Okay.
right there, yeah.
get them like that, DOT. Unless that's a fraud. Because you know how the real ones are made more like this. That's made like a fake helmet. But it's got a DOT stamp.
Huh.
This one is.
Okay. And now you see why I carry such a big box around with me. You've got to be prepared for situations like this. There's no way I'd be able to make this kind of grab without this kind of box. Make sure you check all your zippers before you go. I checked them all. They all work. Perfect. Someone actually just came in here asking to borrow one of my boxes, which of course I can't do because I need it for myself. Very nice house inside. Little bar area here. You never know what you're gonna find. Here, we've got a signature right on the side, Papa Chubby, music artist, rock and roll, Brodus, right in the box. Took my jacket off. Primetime's not playing games. This one here, I just gotta go based on instinct on this one. I cannot imagine what guy does not wanna have this hanging up in the man cave. In fact, if you're watching this and something you want, let me know, hit me up with a message. This is incredible. Yet another reason you need one of these big boxes to carry things around and keep everything secure and safe. Nice kitchen, pretty fancy.
Well, it's a little bit too nice for my house too. It's too nice for my husband, but I'm gonna make it.
Okay, we're upstairs now. They obviously had birds. I have no use for that though. It's just very fancy up here in these rooms. So, like, that's the staircase here. Very fancy schmancy. See there? That's what it's like. Just in case you want to get a sense of what it's like in here. Here's another room here. Very fancy schmancy. Not much in here. It's great if you want new furniture, but for what I do, this is just not the type of stuff I'm looking for. Everything was in that basement. I knew it ahead of time from doing my research on the ads. That's why I headed straight down there first, not wasting my time coming up here. I've said that before, my tips to estate sale videos. Go check them out in my playlist section. And this is the last room. Quite bare, very fancy. Nothing in here for me. Time to go check out. Everyone, we're done. I'll talk to you about the final price in a minute, but we are just loaded up from today. It was really a great day of treasure finds, comic books, toys, rare Indiana Jones sign, these two service part books, awesome, and a big box filled with estate sale treasures. Love it. All right, everybody, well, we are all done. I'm gonna head back to Primetime Treasure headquarters now and wrap the video up. In terms of how much I paid for everything, you could see the price right there. Hopefully it says $120 on it, but really I got everything for $115. I happen to have $115 exactly on me, and they said that's fine, we'll just take that. And I did have my checkbook on me just in case, and I always recommend carrying around your business checkbook or personal checkbook with you in case you go over sometimes. And so just spent a bunch at the flea market. So overall though, I'm very happy with what I picked up. Those helmets, you know, some of those shorter ones with those funny sayings on them, and they say DOT on the back, Department of Transportation, those are official. They are not fake stickers that somebody put on there. They are quite rare helmets. I don't even know what those will fetch, maybe over $100. So I might make everything back with one helmet sale, but certainly two of them I should. Those bigger, wider helmets that you saw that I picked up, those ones could go for like 85 bucks or so. So I'm hoping that with selling two of those, that will bring everything back. Then the rest will be all profit. Lots of boots, great brands in the boots. Some of them I tossed back. And just trying to give you a thumbs up and a thumbs down in terms of things that had to do with brand and also condition. One of them was pretty beat up, so just put it back. So that's it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the treasure hunt. If so, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Tell others about the channel, about these treasure hunts if you find them enjoyable and educational and hopefully somewhat entertaining. Come back to check out some more videos this week, and also make sure you come to the Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center, and follow me on Instagram. That's at prime_time_treasure. See you back at the next video, everyone. Take care.